Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru, Shri Gaura. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Ajnana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Shlakaya Chakshurum Militanyena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance unto him. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai Prabhupada.
Today we're looking at Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 84, The Sage's Teachings at Kurukshetra, Text 12. Nagnir na Suryo na cha Chandra Taraka na Bhur Jalang Kang Swasano Ta Vang Manaha Upasita Bheda Krito Paranti Agham Vipachchito Gyanti Muhurta Sevaya. Just this word, I'm just checking out word by word here, differences. Nagnir na Suryo na Chatrandra Charak. Sorry. Nagnir na Suryo na Chandra Karaka. Nabhur jalankang swasano tavang manaha. Upasita Veda Krito Harantyagam Vipaschito Gyanti Muhurta Sevaya. One by one, everyone can take a line. Nagnir na Suryo na Chachandra Taraka. Nabhur Jalankang Swasanota Vangmanaha. Upasito Vedikrito Harantyagam Vipaschito Gyanti Muhurta Sevaya. Na, not. Agnihi, fire. Na, not. Suryaha, the sun. Na, not. Cha, and. Chandra, the moon. Taraka, and stars. Na, not. Bhu, earth. Jalam, water. Kam, ether. Swasanaha, breath. Ata, or. Vak, speech. Manaha, and the mind. Upasita, worshipped. Veda, differences between himself and other living beings. Kritaha, of one who creates. Haranti, they take away. Agham, the sins. Upaschittaha, wise men. Gnanti, destroy. Muhurta, for a span of minutes. Sevaya, by service. Translation. Neither the demigods controlling fire, the sun, the moon, and the stars, nor those in charge of earth, water, ether, air, speech, and mind actually remove the sins of their worshippers, who continue to see in terms of dualities. But wise sages destroy one's sins when respectfully served for even a few moments. Please repeat. Neither the demigods, controlling fire, the sun, the moon, and the stars, nor those in charge of earth, water, ether, air, speech, and mind actually remove the sins of their worshippers. Who continue to see in terms of dualities. But wise sages destroy one's sins. When respectfully served for even a few moments. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's followers. An immature devotee of the Supreme Lord may accept only the deity of the Lord as divine and see everything else as material. Even the Lord's confidential servants. Nonetheless, because he recognizes Lord Vishnu's supreme position, such a devotee is better situated than materialistic worshippers of the demigods, and he thus deserves a degree of respect. Association with advanced sages, either directly or by hearing their instructions, is recommended in this verse for one who wishes to advance beyond the lower stages of devotional life. A neophyte devotee may be free from the more obvious sins of violence against innocent creatures and against his own body and mind. But until he becomes very advanced on the devotional path, he must always contend with the subtler contaminations of false pride, disrespect towards respectable Vaishnavas, and lack of compassion for suffering creatures. The best remedy for these symptoms of immaturity is to hear from and honor pure Vaishnavas and to assist them in working to deliver the fallen conditioned souls. Namo Om Vishnudaya Vishnustaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Varavani Picharini Nirvishesha Shunyavati Paschachari Shatarini Hare Krishna. So here we have a continuation of the theme of the great credit and benefit that comes from being in the company of good Vaishnavas. So yesterday Harakumar was talking about this, and the theme continues about the different stages of devotional service. And that while people may say, I'm a devotee of God, but we have to also maybe analyze a little carefully what level the individual who makes that kind of declaration is at. So we talked about 3 stages yesterday, Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttamadhikari, the terms that are used in the Chaitanya Charitamrita are Vaishnava, Vaishnavatara, and Vaishnavatama. They're the same. Okay. So regular Vaishnava, which is talking about, larger general group of people, they have the traits that were described yesterday, as is mentioned here in the purport as well. Having reverence for the deity, or like a church or mosque or temple or something like that. This is where God presides. They say the house of God, and that's true. But the house of God may also be outside. You can walk with a canopy of big trees and in the forest and everything. You can certainly feel this God's place too. It's not just wilderness, nasty wilderness. It's also a place that humbles you and excites you, and in a very devotional way. And when you're going through a forest, you say, how can I serve the forest? Well, one of the ways to do it is just leave it alone. Don't bother with it. They sometimes have signs in designated parks and so on like that. Just stay on the main trail. They don't want people going all over the place and disturbing the ecosystem. So one way to service, how do you serve a tiger? Well, just stay away. That's something. Be indifferent, As we advance in Krishna consciousness, we must try to see the presence of Krishna in everything, in all places, not just in the deity. No, not just in the deity, and everything else can be simply canceled out. I see sometimes devotees are a little selective about prasadam too, but it's all prasadam, even if it's not so much to your liking. Maybe some of us have a sweet tooth, so that's the most important level of prasadam. But if it's not sweet, doesn't have sugar in it, whatever, then it's lesser prasadam. You can't honor it as much. So we have all these kind of, let's say, perceptions. We judge and measure, but if it's been offered to Krishna, it's supposed to be good. Krishna incarnate. Prasadam is Krishna incarnate. He's in the food. He's definitely there. So the term that's used here, immature devotee. So that means there are some mature devotees. These people that have come here to this big event in the northern part of India, Kurukshetra, are supposed to be advanced sages, and people are going to take advantage of it. Association with them is more important than bathing in the Ganga and doing some kind of rituals and perhaps even engage in philosophical speculation. Best thing is to hear from great souls that will enlighten and put us on the right track, give us some good direction, and certainly help us to see that Krishna is present everywhere. Now, in chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, I wish we had a copy here, that Krishna is saying that if you want to know the truth, approach a spiritual master, one who's seen the truth, Tattvadarshina, or at least sees more than you see. And what does he see? Next verse. Krishna is speaking about, you have to try to see that Krishna is present in all things. So that's very, very, very clear. You can check it out. That's 434. Oh, yeah, 434. 435. Just look at those two verses when you get a chance. So if we are agreed, like we were talking about, analyzing ourselves, if it's possible, in many cases it's not possible. So try to get some diagnosis from someone who knows you better than you know yourself. And so just like yesterday, I was supposed to make a call, or I was supposed to receive a call, and it did happen, from St. Joseph's Hospital, from Hamilton, because a year ago I had these blood clotting issues. And so this one Japanese doctor follows up on me. And I just told him what's happening with my physical self. And because, otherwise I would see him personally, but we're social distancing and they're only taking, let's say, appointments by phone. So he was doing his analysis, just because he knows better than me on that subject. So I told him how taking a blood thinner every day and so on like that. So there's people there who are there to, who can better give an assessment than oneself. But whatever has been decided in terms of where I sit, where I lie in my devotional status, may I try to endeavor, once I acknowledge it, okay, may I try to endeavor, may I try to improve, may I try to adjust. Just like we were noticing some of the devotees made some adjustment since we talked yesterday about, giving a little more time to jump, to be physically present, visibly there for japa, and attending, being more full for the program, which is what Prabhupada wanted us to do. So those adjustments are made, and that just shows a sign of sincerity that we're trying to improve ourselves. In devotional life, you have to try to improve yourself. You have to try to do a little better, and there's lots of room for improvement. If we are happy with the status where we are, this is called complacency, and it's very dangerous. There should always be something gnawing at us, something, like scratching, you gotta do better, like scratching on the wood, something, again, a little bit of pain, maybe, but we can also interpret it as, oh, that scratching is, it's like a massage. Thank you, keep going. Most of us need to be encouraged to do better, and we have that feeling. It's within and also can come from without. There's Chaitya Guru, that super soul, Guru inside, is encouraging us, and also we have people, Vaishnavas around us that also encourage us to just pay attention to some details, to refine our execution of devotional service. In this particular verse, it is actually talking about sages being more helpful than even the demigods who are in charge of various departments. One time Srila Prabhupada was speaking, he was giving a class. This is Indra. He said, Indra is in charge of the watering department. And some devotees were laughing a little bit. He said, "Oh, do not laugh. This is very serious." So we have a demigod in charge of the water. We have a demigod in charge of rain. We have a demigod in charge of the sun, the moon, air, etc. A demigod in charge of the mind and speech and so on and so forth. And even though they have such a big responsibility, their position is not as progressed as those personalities that live in a saintly manner. Because even demigods, they have a tendency to be, their role is oftentimes Kshatriya-like. They're big managers. So there's a little bit of a pride that sometimes goes along with that, right? I've got a position. Don't you recognize it? But when it comes to humble sages or wise sages, those who apply jnanam, knowledge, that is called vijnanam, application of knowledge, they actually have a lot more to offer devotionally than even the great demigods. Demigods are called devatas, and that means God. We go demigod or semigod. It's not God in full, it's a partial God, taking big responsibilities. Shastra also tells us that you have to have very special people to fit these roles. And if there isn't anybody around, then God himself will sometimes take that position, to help the operation of things. I wish it was like that. Sometimes with our institution, if we're missing some people, like maybe Christian, you can come and help us out. Advaita Acharya had that sentiment. He said, hey, this is Kali Yuga, everything's falling apart. The Brahmins are not coming up to the mark, not coming up to the standards. So, Krishna, it's only you, God, who can solve this problem. Come here. He was at the bank of the Ganges. He had his little Shila, and he had Ganges water and Tulsi leaves, because he understood from Shastra, if you want to purchase here, you want God to listen to you, this is what you can do, one of the things you can do. So he was looking at the way of the world and how Dharma was being challenged and so on like that. And he called loudly for Krishna, come and help. And he did. He came and helped. Came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And then he came with the medicine, because he saw the ills of society. So the medicine is what? It's this chanting with attention, chanting with all humility, and so on like that. I mean, where there are great sages, where there are saintly people, there's going to be some song. There might even be some dance. In some cultures, the priests, whatever, they don't dance. They consider it's too sensuous. But that's not the way it is with us. The first time I ever went to a South Indian temple, I was a little surprised. Everyone kind of stands there and they make some kind of sound, some verb, but it's etiquette to just stand there. And I was just having moments of feeling, wow, I'm so glad to be part of the Chaitanya, culture where you do get to move freely and you do get to sing, with at the top of your lungs if you so wish to. The first time I even attended a Mangal Arati, I said, wow, 4:15 in the morning, people are jumping in the air. Wow, what a culture! I'm exploring. After some time, I decided I want to be part of that. I want to be with a group of people who are happy, people who are just engaged in singing, drumming, dancing. That's where it's at. Susukam karatum avyayam. That's from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, where Krishna is talking about, this is the king of knowledge, Rajavidya Raju. It's, he says at the end, Susukam karatum avyayam. It's a happy expression. Susukam karatum. Karatum refers to it's like karma action. Karatum avyayam. So this is what is the Sankirtan movement. In the first verse from the Shikshastakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that this is beneficial, and it's the Sankirtan movement, which is the panacea for the world and for the society. And sages carry that. They carry the kirtan with them. And some people are very good with the kirtan. Like if Lokanath Swami is there, everybody wants to come because he can really get everybody excited with the kirtan. And so some people are very gifted with that, encouraging each other in this marvelous process. So the main point from this shloka is to give attention to the people who are carrying the spirit of bhakti and who have some knowledge, some wisdom. And as we were talking about yesterday in the verse, they have an ability to absorb. In one place in the Chaitanya Church, and Prabhupada's talking about how people go to places of pilgrimage. It could be the Ganges, or they dump some of their sins, their karma, they leave some of it there. And then great sages who are like a little bit like sponges, they come out, take it all up, and then neutralize the area, neutralize the space, so it's clean and more attractive for people to come in. That's the way it's supposed to be working for us. That is the benevolence. That is, you can say that such persons are frontline healthcare workers. They're very compassionate. They come and take away, absorb all the negative stuff. Krishna does that too. One of our most important shlokas ever in the Bhagavad Gita is Sarva Dharman Prajaja Mamikang Sharanam Praja Ahang Tvang Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Shami Mashucha. And that's in chapter 18, text 66, where Krishna is simply talking about how he'll absorb. He's saying, just submit to me, and I'll absorb the karma, and I'll give you moksha. In one of our great bhajans, it is said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has slightly a different policy. He says, here's moksha, here's some fun. Okay, you like it? Okay, great. Now surrender. So the policy is a little different. Krishna is saying, surrender to me, and I'll give you moksha. I'll give you freedom from the world, this world. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's policy is, here's some freedom, here's some real joy, and now just follow some principles. You like the taste? Okay, then fine. Just follow a few steps, some values, and then we're going somewhere. So both are Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. Krishna is Krishna. Krishna is also Chaitanya. They have the same program, which is to deliver the conditioned souls. They give of their company and they absorb karma. I told you that before. I was on this radio show. It was in Utah, and one of the Vernal, I think was the name of the town, and we were on the radio station, and Jennifer was the broadcaster there, anchor person, I guess you call it. Is that what you call it? Anchor man or anchor woman. And we had a little discussion before we got on the air. I said, okay, Swami, put up headphones, okay. Okay, so we have somebody special here in the studio. And this person, he's a monk, and he's a Hare Krishna monk, and he's walking across America. And he's in the studio right now, and we had a nice conversation. We were talking about the kind of music we play, and I told him we're doing pop music. And then the Swami said, what language was it? Sanskrit, so Sanskrit language, that pop means sin, And so that's why we have the Swami here in the studio, to deal with our sins, to take our sins. So I was a little scared she was going to say negative, because I was too critical about their music, pop. Anyways, the day before, we were interviewed in another studio, and they were playing country western music, which is kind of interesting. But obviously it's music, whether it's country western or pop music, they don't do much for absorbing sin, taking your karma. If anything, they encourage you in bad karma. Most of the songs are about passion, right? And some are even hateful, just like Tamagot, that's kind of contemporary music. I'm sorry, I hate to say it's like that. It might hurt someone's feelings, but that's the way the music is, and it definitely stirs and steers people in an interesting direction. So I think everybody wants to relieve themselves of karma. It bogs you down. It drags you down. Isn't it? We all carry our own different flavor of karma. We're all born here with some, and we accumulate some. And we also relieve ourselves of some because we're engaged in devotional service. Or even if you're not doing bhakti, you get a few pious credits. It's called punya, pious credits for doing some good works. What are some good works that people could do? Where you get some good pious credits? What are some nice things that you can do? Neighborly things. Just asking.
Philanthropy.
Philanthropic work, okay, kind of like what the healthcare workers are doing. They're getting some good benefit from that. Yeah. What else? I'll leave with you.
Charity to the right kind of people.
Charity, right? Giving charity directed in the correct way. You know, people are going to do something positive with the for the benefits what's being given. The recipients are using it they'll use it properly, so you get some benefit if you're the donor. What else?
There's a word, I'm not sure the exact pronunciation, it's called anthropomorphous. You know what that is?
I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just asking. What are some good acts? What are good things? Some good things we can do.
Protect nature.
Protect nature. Yeah.
Establishing parks.
Okay, something that administrators do, city planners do. They build parks. They get some benefit from doing that. Yeah, they do.
Like the brickworks.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah, we go there quite a bit. And you know, like we heard about pious kings of Abraham. They would just dig wells, which is meant for the welfare of other people and well-being. What else? What are some simple things? What about helping an old lady across the street? Of course, these days, or somebody's got a problem with flat tire, some lady's got a flat tire, and then a guy pulls over and says, "Here, I'll help you with that." Well, anyways, those kind of things. So much. It's winter time. You go, "I'm just offering you a little extra time." Okay, this is so and so. She's 78 years old. You know, she needs somebody to help shovel her sidewalk. You see, you do that. Those are good things. They give you pious credit. It's punya. You know, we need them, but we also need something more important, and that is to establish a clear sense of service, bhakti, to the Supreme. And then Krishna looks kindly upon any good acts that you do. But ultimately, we must give of ourselves to Him. Go for a complete submission.